Hello everyone, as usual it's me Pavlo, and today we'll be talking about yet another great single dynamic driver earphones. They are made by Acous and they are named NA20. As you can guess by name, it's continuation of their NA2, as well as NM20 was a continuation of NM2 and NM2 Plus, and as well as NA2, they offer more fun and more engaging signature compared to more monitoring representation of NM20. Price is $120. I will add links to their official website in the description. And taking into account that NF Acous definitely knows how to tune earphones and how to make them attractive, I have a good hopes for this model. Let's have a closer look. Package shows typical for NF Acous attention to details and nuances. It's not something done in a hurry, so you can see the good polygraphy and some features printed on the back side. And inside of this sleeve we getting access to the main box. Typically it opens this way, and here we have really nice carry and storage pouch with zipper, and it feels really well. And here something heavy, most likely it's a 6.3mm adapter, so it's my guess, but let's check it out. Yeah, that's it. And as you can see here, they also use the typical approach with CD-like earphones holder, and underneath we getting set of tips just for pairs, but it's for different sizes. And then you'll get a stock cable. Of course, there could have been a bit more tips, but on the other hand, we're getting a pretty decent case. Earphones look pretty attractive. As far as I know, there is only one color version, but NF Acous selected a really interesting tint for their transparent shells, and with this frost-like design, it looks kind of attractive. There are company logos on the faceplates, but even faceplates are transparent, so you can observe the driver from every angle. Nice border on the faceplates. Overall looks pretty nice, and at the same time not too bright, not too popping out, so I like it. Of course, they are smooth, they are pretty compact, so they're fitting nicely into ears, at least into mine, but I think that they will fit nicely into vast majority of ears. Spouts are made of metal, they have average length, and actually sound isolation is also average. There is a lip for holding the tips and the protective grill, so no junks or debris will get inside and spoil the driver. Here is vent hole here and here, so we have this traditional design with driver opened from both sides, so overall level of execution looks really good to me. Nice soft silicone tips came in stock, so they hold really well. Cable is made replaceable. Here used 2-pin connector with recessed pins. As far as I remember, they called QDC connectors, and they provide the nice mechanical reliability, and at the same time they looks pretty well too. And you can see that NF Acous matched everything in one color schema, and cable, connectors, everything have similar tint and looks pretty attractive. Stock cable is soft, not super soft, but on the softer side, not super thick, but at the same time it looks pretty reliable. It's a bit prone to tangling, but also it's usually really fast to untangle. They use here the signature splitter and the chin slider, and below the splitter it goes just braided in the spiral to the 3.5mm connector. So tastes are subjective, but I really like how they look and how they are made. Sound-wise, NF Acous achieved their goal. They wanted to create a more fun and musical version of NM20, and they boosted bass, they boosted treble, created more V-shaped signature, made mids slightly softer with less focus on the micro contrast, and they achieved the fun, engaging signature. But at the same time, of course, they did not overdo all that accents and still keeping good amount of technicality. Of course, it's not a model for focusing on the small and tiniest nuances. They are not monitoring like an M20, but still they deliver good amount of small nuances. But let's talk about everything step by step. So bass goes deep, main accent it's accented, and main accent made on the mid bass. But deeper layers of bass are present, but they are pretty well controlled, and overall bass stays on its place, not shadowing mid frequencies despite of being boosted. But boost is like average in terms of quantity. At the same time, in terms of quality, bass has nice detalization, but it's not trying to be super fast. It's not trying to extract every single nuance from the instruments, but still instrument sounds pretty realistic, and they don't have this effect of overblown instrument that goes to the bass. Of course, they suit better for some genres, for non-audiophilic recordings, but still natural instruments sounds pretty realistic. And probably they're still not probably, they definitely still not bass head in terms of bass quantity. And overall, they deliver pretty satisfying bass, at least, to my tastes. I'm not a fan of overboosted low frequencies, and they're not crossing my comfort zone. But at the same time, tightness and palpability of low frequencies is pretty pleasant here. And as an example, I've selected St. James Infirmary Blues from American Gods soundtrack first season. And it has a really nice velvety male vocal and some instruments that works as a foundation of the tune goes to the bass area. But at the same time, this track suffers when bass is overblown and it sounds bloated, but not in case of NA20. You're getting nice foundation, but not overdone. So mids are recessed, but they don't sound veiled, muffled, or something like that. They have a slight hint of warmth on the lower part of mids, but it's not much, and it's more giving body for the instruments and not like over smoothing small nuances and details. You'll get good detalization, but without focus on the micro contrast, giving you more like musical and more coherent representation. All instruments usually sound together, but still, of course, you can focus on separate ones. They are not super critical for the quality of record, but still technical enough to distinguish between different remasters and stuff like that. They also build the pretty spacious stage, not super deep, but with nice depth layering. But in terms of width, everything is positioned really well. But at the same time, they don't try to build like super 3D and holographic stage. And here is a nice example. It's Duran, A View to Kill from James Bond soundtracks. And it has this punchy percussion, also signature vocal, and all sounds pretty engaging without lacking some details or stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not like as separated as with an M20. Treble is accented, it has noticeable accent, so if you're sensitive for the high frequencies, keep that in mind, it may be not an option for you. For me, it's okay because I'm a fan of high frequencies and they're not coming close to my tolerance threshold. At the same time, high frequencies have nice extension, above average, not maximum, but pretty nice. Really fast attacks and decays, faster than traditionally for the dynamic drivers, and they overall sounding slightly more airy than I'd expect from the dynamic drivers. So they have a bit of armaturish sounding with a lot of airiness, and they even try to deliver that nuances of the room when record is well. Of course, almost zero layering and advanced overtones are not perfect, but basic overtones are really natural and give a good sense of realism for the instruments. And example for the high frequencies is Rush, YYZ, really nice, well separated percussions at the beginning and in main part, and even with guitars and everything else going on, still you can hear that percussions really well. In terms of pairings, they don't require some super black background or super high technicality, super high power, nothing like that. But at the same time, some dongle in this segment, like $40 to $70, of course, roughly speaking, will be a good addition to these earphones, allowing them to unveil their full potential. Speaking about the compressions, I don't know why, but my reference point for fun sounding earphones is FIO FD3, and NA20 for me does almost the same but slightly better, with a bit better staging, slightly more refined treble, and slightly faster bass, but kind of similar signature. Tangim Fission that I reviewed just recently, it's more neutral model, more polite in terms of bass and treble, and at the same time more technical, but also not over-focused on the micro contrast. And their brother NM20, it's counterpart, so it's more natural, more resolving, more focused on the micro contrast. You know, I think that NF Acous should create a bundle with these two models because they perfectly complement each other. On some tracks, technicality and resolution and airiness of NM20 Plus will give you all that small and tiny nuances. On the other tracks, more fun, engaging, and groovy nature of NA20 will make you smile. So really good, fun sounding, but at the same time not overdone in this aspect model. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.